First of all, isn't it fantastic to have these young people here? Thank you to Paul Contes, who gathered this group, to Eric, who has helped make this happen, and to Terry, who is sponsoring. If you would like to contribute towards, our wonderful musicians, please do so when the plate is passed. Good Shepherd knows how to party. This is a good thing. David Bentley Hart says that the Eucharistic life that Jesus ushered us into is not a nose to the grindstone kind of life. There was not a lot of toiling in the fields by him and his disciples, and the only harvest we ever hear of them gathering is the plucking of a few ears of wheat on the Sabbath. One of the more touching expressions of Christ's humanity was the sorrow he expressed, and when he told his disciples on the night right before his death, he said he regretted that he would no longer be able to share wine with them this side of the kingdom. Clearly, part of the life that he and his disciples cultivated among themselves was one of ordinary fellowship, just ordinary fellowship in the restfulness of meals eaten together, good company, and above all, of wine. This is not to say that our life in Christ is free of the day in and day out demands of work and laundry and dishes and doing good works. But if we imagine that we are simply made for work, then we are missing out on the fundamental freedom and good and joy of the good news. David Bentley Hart, is an Orthodox theologian and philosopher, and he gives a great many instances of biblical uses of wine, and says that wine represents a leisure commanded of us by the God who prefers giving us the gift of his grace than demanding our adherence to the strict works of the law. All of which is to say, well done, Cheryl Merrill. Not only did you raise funds for the mission and ministry of this church, but you gave us this incredible opportunity to party. We had this wonderful, wonderful party on last Friday. Just a couple days ago, with the Mardi Gras Murder Mystery Dinner. So,
thank you all for trusting in me and buying tickets, showing up, and thank you, Eric, so much for the musicians. You guys really made it. So, just thank you all.
Yes. So we gathered with friends, we gathered with strangers, we had a great meal, good drink, incredible music, and a play. I mean, all the people who came, and everyone who came to that party walked right by our welcome sign, which says, "You belong here. You belong here." Which is a great thing. Not only it's a great thing to say that we all belong here, but at least a good third of the people that came, this was their first time ever of even being here at Good Shepherd. So it was evangelism in the form of invitation and leisurely time spent together, enjoyed together. It's a clear sign of the presence of the grace of God, giving us the freedom of space and time just to play. These festive times, of course, would not be festive if they occurred every day, right? I mean, it's the commonplace that gives life to the party. And of course, after the party, there's cleaning to be done. And the next day, we dealt with rodents and dripping faucets, the laundry, of course. But when festivities punctuate ordinary time, our lives are lifted up and we get a better perspective on things. And God knows that we need this. We need these celebration times. After all, God gives us the gift of Sabbath, the gift of weekly celebration and rest, hallowing this one day out of 7, so that all the days of our lives, our work and our celebrations, have greater meaning in the sense of the sacred, the holy. And beyond our weekly Sunday celebrations, the church, in its wisdom, has festivals and feasts that break up ordinary time. I mean, we have the Feast of Christmas, right? And of Easter, the Feast of Easter, and Pentecost, and then we have all the saints' days, St. Nicholas and St. Francis and St. Valentine. And today, the Feast of the Transfiguration. Now, this feast, the Feast of the Transfiguration, is less well known. I'm guessing that you did not get up this morning or anticipate all week long that you were going to come to church and celebrate the Feast of the Transfiguration. It's less well known, and it's one that we don't really know what to do with. I mean, there really is nothing to do. There's no shopping for presents, no credit card debt to go into, no Easter eggs to stuff and hide, no cards to make or buy. This feast is all about the mystery and grace and fire and light and the utter holiness of God. Moses goes up Mount Sinai and is covered in clouds for 6 days until on the 7th day, God appears to him in this overwhelming fire, overwhelming him with glory and majesty of God's presence, gifting him with the words of the commandments, the way of ethical life for the whole community. Jesus goes with 3 of his closest associates up the tallest mountain and is transfigured. And Peter and James and John see him in intimate conversation with the great prophets Moses and Elijah. And they hear God. Listen to him. This is my beloved, the Christ. Listen to him. And they cower. They cower before this absolute glory, this blinding mystery of God incarnate, standing there as one of them and yet as not one of them. One commentator, Brian Bodine, who describes himself as a songwriter, drinker of coffee and bourbon, bad athlete, prisoner of hope, pastor, human becoming. Isn't that a great description? Brian O'Dean says this about this feast day of the Transfiguration. He says it's a day to put down the books and go outside, or listen to jazz. This feast day is all about laying down our attempts to figure God out, or even to figure our own lives out. It's a day to stop trying so hard to be good or successful or in shape or whatever other way you're trying to measure success. It's a day to just wonder at the utter holiness of God. So, I invite you this day, even if it's raining, to find some time to go outside. Contemplate the incredible reality of leaves that eat sunlight, or sap that is sucked up through the trunk of a tree against the pull of gravity. Hold someone's hand and just revel in the majesty and mystery of another human being. Spend a few minutes looking at the sky and acknowledge the fact that you are here at all. I mean, the odds of your life, your unique life, coming to fruition in this unimaginably vast universe. I mean, the odds are so minuscule that your very existence is a miracle. And it's not possible to stay very long in this kind of contemplation. I mean, you can't hold that for very long. Because every breath you take, it's so commonplace that you take it for granted, and And yet it is also such a mind-blowing miracle that if you contemplate it for very long, you will find yourself in Peter's place, at the Lord's feet. He couldn't stay very long contemplating this blinding glory of Jesus and Moses and Elijah, all of them very much alive. He needed to just do something, anything. So, he offered to build them something, build them houses, just something to do. So I'm going to invite you, after you go outside for a little bit, try to extend that contemplation time just a little bit longer. And then come in and have a glass of wine, or sparkling water, or eat a taco, or even make love. Let yourself thoroughly rest in Sabbath joy and honor of this feast day with your wonder and your awe. Now, for sure, the regular ordering and disciplines of good habits is really important, right? Before the glory of God descended on Moses, the scriptures record, we start in verse 12, if you read from verse 1 through 11, and before that, it's a list of these ethical laws that guide a community. So the ordering of our life is important. And afterwards, right directly afterwards, the scriptures, record all these intricate ways of building the tabernacle where the presence of God will be held. Before Jesus is transfigured on the mountain, he has predicted his suffering at the hands of the authorities, and afterwards, he will again predict his suffering at the hands of the authorities. For us, Lent is just around the corner. It's a more somber time of contemplation of our fallen nature, our propensity to harm ourselves and others, to make a mess of the earth. That time is coming soon enough. But today, soak in the mystery and the glory of God's eternal grace and holiness. It is a godly act to celebrate. It is a godly act to listen to music, to make music, to take a nap, to have a party, to pray with uplifted hands in thanksgiving for the glory of simply being alive. Simply being alive. And in all of this making music and having a glass of wine and contemplating the glory of leaves in your own life and your dog, in all of this, you might be able to glimpse just a little tiny bit of the holiness and mystery of our Lord, the God Almighty, the transcendent, the resplendent, the utterly other, the uncontrollable, the unknowable, the source of all beauty, all ethics, all law, all life, and all goodness. In the name of the transfigured Lord, amen.